Something about this Alamo Dome. Last year it hosted the Midwest Regional, and the Sweet 16 night here, the doubleheader night, like we're going to have here today, had 2 overtime games.
So Clemson was a double overtime, wasn't it?
Double,
I believe so, yeah.
Double overtime. Minnesota beat Clemson, and UCLA over Iowa State in overtime. And here we go here. Donna Smith.
Jim, one of the things you get an extra timeout in overtime, but one of the things you don't get, and I'm looking at that young man right there, he does not get an extra foul. So Young comes into this overtime with 4 on him. So Kentucky in better shape in a low post.
Madsen anticipating perhaps.
He stole the tap, unlike the first tap of the game.
1 overtime game on the season for Stanford. It was a loss against Arizona State, one of only 4 losses on the year.
Kentucky had 1 and they beat Arkansas.
Weems. Edwards crashed in on him, so he drove in. Rattles out, maybe over the back on Young.
And that's Young, and as I said, you don't get an extra foul in overtime, so Young's going to sit. And I go back to the foul that he committed right at the start of the second half. That was a cheap one. There's nothing he can do here. Big advantage, Kentucky. And you see Nazr Mohammed blocking him out, keeping him off the boards.
That
Young
wasn't much of a foul there, Billy.
Very cheap foul.
Was it a cheap foul or no foul?
Well, maybe no foul. You know, when you consider at this point in the game, these referees have been allowing them to play. That was almost, and gain no advantage by that contact. A foul is when you make contact and gain an advantage. Young sure didn't on that play.
Mohammed to shoot 2. 3 out of 4 at the line today. Quite an improvement. A year ago in the championship game, the overtime loss to Arizona, Mohammed was 0 for 6 from the line. Well, how about that? Kentucky's in back-to-back overtime games at the Final Four. The championship game to Arizona and here today.
Yep. Long.
Tipped out, looked like by Edwards.
Yeah, I thought Edwards was the last one to touch it. An official looking for some help, and he got it. On the money there. Kentucky keeps up the full court relentless pressure. Now Lee has got to be questioned as to how much stamina he's had. He's been fighting his pressure for a good 20 minutes.
Mad Dog snapped it right over the hands of Mosley.
You want to get the ball back to Lee if you're Stanford. That relentless pressure from Kentucky eventually takes its toll.
That was an unforced error, really. No one on him. And Mohammed, left-hander, back of the rim. Still, Kentucky keeps it.
Well, Nazr lost control of the ball there with that left hand, but he had excellent position down inside. Madsen giving up about 3 inches with it. With his Collins on Padgett. Again, the curl by Shepard.
Shepard having passed Weems, banks it home.
And here's where the loss of Young really hurts Stanford. Collins certainly not the low post threat. Maybe Madsen could pick up the slack here inside.
Mosley, 3, front of the rim, kept alive, but into the arms of Padgett. Momentum with Kentucky in the overtime. 3.5 to go.
I think Padgett thinks that he can overpower Collins down in low.
Mohammed believes he can do the same on Madsen. Fade away, though, in the first 5 of the overtime to the Wildcats.
Stanford doesn't like to double down, but they're almost going to have to now because Madsen giving up so much size.
Timeout of 20 called by Stanford.
Tim Young on that bench. Tough situation for Mike Montgomery.
Kentucky with 6 national championships, second only to UCLA. 13 Final Fours with this one in '98. Second only to North Carolina and UCLA, 14 apiece. People forget when we talk about the 42 national champs, there were only 8 teams in the tournament then. FDR was the president. And by the way, there were 48 states.
Howie Delmar was the MOP of that particular tournament. And also on that club, the great Jim Pollard, Hall of Famer from Stanford. Wants to clear out inside.
Over the top to Collins. Stuffed once, gets it back and one. Oh, this freshman has great composure.
Yes, he does. And Jim gives Stanford a lot of credit there. What they anticipated was the fact that there was going to be a double by Paget coming in to help on Madsen. So they threw right over the top of it. Paget couldn't get back in time. And as you said, give Collins a lot of credit for the putback.
And this is the 4th foul on Muhammad.
Collins, as I said, had the big game with 23 minutes against Purdue, 5 for 9, 12 points, 11 rebounds.
That's his first miss of the game from the line after making his first 4. It would have cut it to 2, so a big miss. Halfway through the overtime. Kentucky by 3, 78-75. Edwards 3 on the baseline.
What happened there, Jim, is that Edwards, instead of coming out on the curl, ran the baseline. Madsen, Mosley tried to go all the way over the top to chase him. You can see here he comes. He had run all the way across the top. And it gave Edwards an excellent opportunity to score in the baseline.
Alvin Edwards still going through the healing process. He lost his mother, Laura Mae Edwards, 4 weeks ago, dying of breast cancer. McGlure in for Muhammad.
And you see what Tubby Smith is doing now, Jim. He's going to go offense, defense the rest of the way. McGlure comes in, hopefully, to play as much defense as possible. How's he available on the offensive end?
It's at a 4-point Kentucky lead.
And Turner really sits down defensively.
Lee with a 3. Tips it and gets it back. Huge shot here. Lee 3. And he's hammered by Turner to the line for 3 attempts where he hasn't missed in the entire tournament.
Give Madsen some credit for determination going after that loose ball. Tubby Smith didn't like it. He thinks his team's quicker. They're supposed to beat people to the ball.
Lee 6 for 6 today from the line.
Madsen with a good kick out. Foul. Turner hits him with a leg.
If that dropped, he could have tied it. Could have been a 4-point play. Still Lee proves his remarkable free throw standard in the tournament to 33 of 33.
And Jimmy, remember when Arthur Lee used the choke sign in a non-sportsmanlike way when Pitino Mobley was on that foul line.
Nazi Muhammad back in with his 4 fouls.
He understood and took
a lot of heat for it.
Took a lot of heat.
And rightfully so.
Right, rightfully so, and handling himself in a professional manner. I don't think we'll see that out of him again.
He sent a letter of apology. Apologized here as well. And Lee hits all 3 to bring it back to 1 with 2 minutes to go. Lee has 26.
Paget, again, posting up down low on Collins, but they're not looking to get him the ball.
And on the shot clock, Shepard comes over, out high. Paget fakes the 3, now drive. Drive for the dunk, and it's Kentucky ball, they say. It was touched, says Tim Higgins. Tipped by Stanford.
And here is a case where Paget tried to finish this off with the dunk. I don't agree with that call, Jim. The ball was released, hits the rim, and then I think it was touched. Check me on this one. Boom. See, the ball hit the rim. I don't think it ever touched the Stanford hand. I think that should have been Stanford's ball.
A full timeout called by Kentucky.
Take a look at it. This is a better angle. I don't think a Stanford hand ever touched the ball. Jim, this is why you don't want to be a referee. I think that this basket should have counted, and I'll tell you why. Here's the ball inside the basket, and the hand is in the cylinder. You can see it right there. Now, it's either 2 points Kentucky, or it is Stanford ball, because the last person to touch it is Paget without question. But we've looked at it 18 times during a commercial in slow motion. So give the guys in a striped shirt some credit.
Super slow-mo.
Super slow-mo, yeah.
One full timeout for Stanford, 2 full ones for Kentucky, and Kentucky with possession. 1:31 remaining in overtime.
Solid screen. Collins steps out.
Shepard loves the shot. And he delivers.
Is he amazing coming off that curl, whether it be coming off to the right or the left? He squares up perfectly.
82-78. A career high for Shepard, 26 points. Weems comes off a pick, fires back a 3 of his own. Collins with the rebound. Somebody was holding.
Paget was pulling him down.
So Collins, the freshman, to the line for 2.
And young players that are watching, watch how Shepard comes out. See how he squares up his feet even though he's coming against his body for that jump shot. That's why the shot is square, and that's why he doesn't glide to the right or the left. He turns that lead foot in square to the basket, which brings his whole body then square around, including his shoulders. Terrific curl move shooter.
Minute 3 to go. 2 for Collins. After making his first 4 free throws in this game, he's clanked the last 2.
Still plenty of time, Jim.
3-point game. A minute to go. Stanford came back from 4 down with a minute to play in regulation. And Madsen on the reach-in.
Not a bad foul right here. Remember who's going to the line. Turner. He's had his problems there.
Only problem for the Stanford side, that's the 4th on Madsen. If somehow this game was to go an extra 5 minutes after this one.
So you think you're back at Clemson, Minnesota, huh?
Double overtime in this building. It has been.
I will say something, and not trying to look ahead for either one of these ball clubs, but a game that is as physical as this, that goes into an overtime, takes a lot out of you. For the next spin.
2 for Turner.
Only a 56% free throw shooter his first 2 seasons.
Four-point lead, 53 seconds.
You can take a 2 or a 3 here. You don't have to settle on a 3. You got 2 possession game.
Brian Mendez with the 3. Got it! Comes home to Texas and brings his team to within 1. And they put Turner right back on the line. Lee knows it. Turner will go back for 2 attempts.
Very good strategy right there by Mike Montgomery. Now, remember last weekend, Jim, we saw such great coaching performances. Tubby Smith with a great comeback against Duke. Mike Montgomery extending that game against Rhode Island. He's doing the same thing right here. You try to take a minute ball game and turn it into a 5-minute game.
Young son John, daughter Annie Montgomery, 2 shots for Turner.
Look good. You never figure a young man who scored 62 in a high school game would have a hard time from the foul line, do you?
No, kid who hit the 3 at the other end, those scored 71 once in a high school game, but never a bigger basket than that one by Mendez. Here's the second one. Got them both. Turner with 3 in a row from the line.
But it still is a 1-possession game with a 3-point lead.
McGlure inserted for Muhammad.
Again, the defensive pressure of McGlure, the shot blocker down inside.
42 seconds.
and still enough time not to have to rely strictly on the three-point shot.
They seem to like to take the three in this situation. Lee got in regulation. Mendez already hit one. Can he do it again? Well, long rebound to Madsen, though. Weems is waiting for it. No pass his way. 24 seconds. Weems to tie. Off the glass. Tipped out again to Madsen. Lee rejected. And out to Shepard. He was fouled.
And give Tubby Smith some credit. The substitution of McGlure in for Nazr Mohammed. The defensive shot block. Madsen on the floor, but great hustle. There it is. Tubby Smith making all the right moves.
And Madsen fouls out with 9 points, 16 rebounds.
So you have Young and Madsen out. But Jim, looking up at the scoreboard, that shouldn't hurt them at all because they've got to go to the three-point shot now the rest of the way.
Mr. Madsen watches as Sauer comes in. And Shepard to the line for two with 15 seconds to go. Already with a career high 26. Ooh, big. To make it a two-possession game. Timeout, Kentucky. A 20. They call a 20. Now it's a full. Tubby said he wanted a 20, but they only have a full. So it's a full extension. Stanford down 4. 15 seconds to go in overtime. Jim Nance, Billy Packer. Nighttime descending on San Antonio. And a timeout situation. One full timeout for each team. Kentucky with another second half comeback here. 17 down in the second half of the regional final to Duke. Back to win it. The Wildcats 10 down in the second half to Stanford today.
A lot of confidence in his team, and you can see that Tubby Smith in his timeout patterns, Jim, loves to call and set his team in place. And there's two philosophies there. Some coaches say, hey, when I've got the lead, I don't want to give that other guy a chance to set up. Tubby Smith of the principle, he always wants his club to know exactly what he wants them to do.
Now Stanford 4 down with 15 seconds, and you got to go full court here. What do you do?
Well, you've got a two-possession game, Jim, so I think that you get satisfied to go and get the 2 as opposed to taking the wild 3. This is Stanford, a school that in the school year 97 won 6 NCAA team championships, beating their all-time record of 5 in both 95 and 96.
Inbounds to McDonald, freshman.
Take it to the basket.
Sauer plants the feet, 3-point. 1-point game, 9 seconds to go. The captain, bad wheel and all.
Yeah, he was going at the right speed with that bad knee to be in perfect position to be open. McDonald wasn't sure what he wanted to do with it. And here is the delayed break by Sauer. Perfect release.
It may have been Sauer, but it's down to 1. Yeah, you got it. Stanford is out of timeouts. Kentucky with 1. Kentucky has checked in Cameron Mills.
And there's a reason for that, Jim, in my opinion. Cameron Mills this year has taken 21 free throws. He's made 20 of them. You know that Stanford has got to go ahead and commit, go for the steal, but don't be afraid to commit that foul to get the ball back in possession to try to win this thing. So if Turner touches it, you can be assured that Stanford's going to foul him. Let's see if they keep Turner in the game. Who did Mills come in for?
Shepard's on the floor. Turner is in there. Edwards also. Padgett.
You can see Mills, 95% free throw shooter. Turner is going to break for the ball. If you're Kentucky, you would think you'd want Cameron Mills breaking for the ball and let him get fouled.
Edwards will inbound. They will not man the inbounds pass.
Right, Stanford looking to try to pick up the first cutter through with Sauer.
They made a steal in the Rhode Island game in this situation. They tie up Padgett. The arrow belongs to Kentucky. The arrow belongs to Kentucky. Kentucky ball.
And there is the controversial rule of why does the defense get penalized by the arrow with a great defensive play.
6 seconds to go. Edwards calls the last timeout for Kentucky. Wow. 6 seconds on the clock. Kentucky leads by 1 in overtime. We'll be right back. There are no more timeouts on either side. That took 3.2 seconds to call that jump ball. And remember, Mike Montgomery must tell his team, if we put him on the line here, we've got to set up a play right this minute now as we break the huddle. He's got to set up the last shot for his team.
Well, and Stanford should be pretty good at arithmetic, Jim. It's a school of higher learning over there. They've got to decide if those free throws are made or missed, how they want to attack. They're down 1. Guy makes 2 free throws. They're down 3. Obviously, they've got to go for a 3-point shot. Otherwise, they can tie it for 2. Or win with 2 if he doesn't make any of them.
Sauer, Mendez, freshman Jaron Collins, Chris Weems, and Arthur Lee on the floor for Stanford. Kentucky counters with Mills, Edwards, Padgett, Turner, and Shepard.
Coming up in the next game, we have North Carolina. They won a national championship in '57 with 2 games which they played triple overtime. Is Kentucky working on that? Or Stanford? And Kentucky looks like they might want to break a guy long on a solid screen here.
This time they man the inbounds pass. Edwards needs help. Goes long, and Turner gets it. They must foul him quickly. They do with 2.5 to go.
Boy, and Lee thought he had picked that off. Turner just beat him. Like 2 guys going out for a pass in the end zone. A great defender against a good wide receiver. Wide receiver comes up with it.
I'll tell you, had he even picked it off, though, he would have been going in the wrong direction. It would have been hard for him to even get back. Fire a pass, plant yourself.
Good job by Turner to kind of tap that over to himself. Wasted another probably half a second.
All right, Turner's made his last 3 attempts. He'll shoot 2. Wild on the first one.
So they do have a shot, Jim.
And they bring in the shot blocker, McGlure.
Out goes Mills. So they're big now.
2.5 seconds to go.
Not enough time to dribble the ball the length of the court. You got to make a throw for a jump shot on the side.
Who will play Monday night? Long. Rebound, Sauer.
He's got a
Sauer needs some help. Wildly throws it home. Kentucky advances. What a game. Kentucky in overtime. 86-85. Kentucky, for the 3rd straight year, will play in the national championship game. Kentucky won in '96, lost in the final last year, but will be in San Antonio on Monday to challenge the winner of Utah, North Carolina, which will be next. What a start to this Final Four. Greg Gumbel will be with us when we return in a moment.
Welcome back to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. I don't know, can you ask for any more? I don't think so. In overtime, the Kentucky Wildcats advance to the championship game on Monday night with a 1-point victory over the Stanford Cardinal, 86-85. Coming up, the Utah Utes, champions of the West against North Carolina, the champions of the East. They are set to tip off at 8:46 p.m. Eastern Time. And in just a few moments, we'll be getting you out to the Gillette 3-point challenge with $2 million on the line. $1 million for the contestant, $1 million million for charity. But first, let's return to the game at hand and back down onto the floor, Jim Nantz and Billy Packer. Jim.
All right, thank you, Greg. And Tubby, a season-low 6 turnovers by Kentucky. Still, you had to pull off another second-half comeback down 10. How did you guys do it?
Well, you got to get a lot of credit to Stanford and Mike Montgomery and staff. They were well prepared. They're very physical. You know, I thought we had turned it over a lot more than that, but, you know, we weren't getting many deflections in the first half. We were trying to press and force some turnovers, and I thought we did. But we kept our composure. It was a great effort on our kids' part to hang in there when things weren't going well for us.
Tubby, so many different things that you do in the course of the game in regard to using this defense. But I thought in the first half, when you came in with McGlure, he certainly gave you a big lift, didn't he?
Well, Jamal's an excellent defender. He's really been playing well. He's stepped up his game, and he's been very aggressive. And against a team like this where they have 2 physical post players inside, you know, Nas is not quite the physical player that Jamal is, so we needed that physical presence inside.
We brought a guy standing beside you here. He's a pretty fair guy coming off of that curl move of yours, isn't he?
He was knocking it down. We kept going. He said, Coach, run my play again.
You know, you had a career high in this game. What a stage to have your career high, too, with 27 points. How about all those big shots you hit down the stretch?
Well, I praise the Lord for letting us get to this opportunity. This team's gone through a lot this year, and it's just been so fun to be able to pull together and pull together as a family and as brothers. It's just been awesome.
Tubby, what's the team going to do now as the Utah-North Carolina take the floor?
Well, we'll probably go back and watch some of this and break down some film, get these guys some rest. They probably want to watch part of this game. But I can't say enough about Jeff and the leadership that he's shown along with Cameron Mills. The spiritual strength within the team has been amazing. And Allen Edwards, you know, we've been through a lot, like you said, this year, and these guys have hung in there and pulled us all through.
How about a pop here for the coach, though? He's giving you guys all the credit. How about Tubby, huh?
Well, when he first got here at Kentucky, he made himself so available to us, and we pulled close to him and his staff, and they've just been there for us. You know, it's been an awesome experience.
All right, awesome game, and what a win for Kentucky. We'll see you Monday night. Jeff, thank you. Tubby Smith, congratulations. Let's send it back over now to Greg. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Jim, thank you. And our Chevy players of the game for tonight, Arthur Lee of Stanford, 26 points, 5 of 7 from behind the three-point line, a perfect 35 for 35 in this tournament. And from Kentucky, Jeff Shepard, a career-high 27 points. This is the young man who missed last year's tournament because he was a redshirt. Kentucky and Jeff Shepard move on. What a terrific game. It was in the first half, Coach, it was a series of runs, and Stanford being able to maintain. They led by 5, and in the second half, you know, we said it was Kentucky 8-2 in games in which they trailed at halftime. They're now 9-2.
I thought it was the greatest basketball game I've seen. I've seen a lot of them because you take in the defense or rebounding. Kentucky had 6 lost the ball for the entire game, and Stanford was with them every bit of the way. It was just a sensational basketball game.
Clark.
I couldn't agree more. It really showed Kentucky's balance and versatility as a team. They like to play an up-tempo game. It never really happened, but they were able to pound it inside. And in close games, you got to have somebody make plays, and clearly Jeff Shepard did that for them.
Are you gentlemen aware this is the 50th anniversary of the University of Kentucky's first ever national championship? That's only if you believe in omens. We'll take a timeout. Don't forget, we still have the Gillette three-point challenge still to come. We'll get to that as we continue from San Antonio in just a moment. Anything else you want to add before we completely bury you?
Well, the other thing is that if you do fronting, you need weak side help, and that way you get position on the defensive boards. And I really look for Antoine to have to deal with a lot of body contact from the Utes today.
All right, guess what? We got another great game to look forward to. A live look at the Alamo Dome from outdoors, courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp. Game 2 of the national semifinals coming up. The Utes of Utah, the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Jim Nantz and Billy Packer bringing it to you right after this.